Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Roots of Biology. In this channel, I teach biology for high school students. Today I'm going to start with a new chapter for the class 10th, that is how do organisms reproduce. This is for CBSE syllabus, that is for class 10th, chapter 7, how do organisms reproduce. So we are all living organisms, am I right? So we have a certain characteristic features in our body, and each organisms have a different functions in their body, right? So there are few functions like growth, development, right? Like that, there is a one particular process that is called reproduction. It will reproduce its offspring, it will reproduce its baby. So that is also one important process of a human being. Not only human being, even in other animals also the same process will repeat. So this is what we are going to study in this chapter, that is about how do organisms reproduce. Before moving on to the next slide, one request from my side is please do watch my videos, like, share and subscribe. It might be useful to many students. Okay, let us move on to the next slide now. So now let us continue with this chapter. So the question, the lesson name itself is how do organisms reproduce, right? I already told you reproduction is a process by which organisms produce a new species, or I can say it create a new life and continue their species. That is what we call as reproduction. So there are different types of reproduction. The first type is called asexual reproduction. Another type is called sexual reproduction. These are the two different types of reproduction. So what is asexual reproduction then? So it is a single parental copy itself to create a offspring. So in this process what happened? Only a single parent is involved and no gamete formation is take place here. So my gametes are nothing but male as well as female gametes. Okay. So that is not involved here, but here it involves only a single parent. So that is why it is called as asexual reproduction. So usually these type of reproduction usually take place in some bacteria, amoeba as well as in hydra. Okay, the next type of reproduction is called sexual reproduction. So what is sexual reproduction then? So it is a process here, it involves two parents are involved in gamete formation. So that is what we called as, in this process two parents are involved and gamete will form. So this is what we called as sexual reproduction. When there is a fusion of both male and female gamete, it results in the formation of a new species. So that is why it is called as sexual reproduction. So I think you know that different types of cell division, in that mitosis and meiosis, right? So meiosis is an important steps in the sexual reproduction. So that is very important to understand about this. So let us move on to the next slide now. Now let us discuss about asexual reproduction. Okay, so asexual reproduction, there are different types of asexual reproduction. So they are the first one is fission, second one is budding, and the third one is vegetative propagation, which is followed by regeneration and spore formation. So these are the different types of asexual reproduction. So we're going to study in detail about this one by one now. So let us move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss about what are the different types of asexual reproduction. In that, the first one is fission. Okay, so fission is a type of it is a process which take place in unicellular. What are unicellular? These are single celled species. So this is called unicellular organism. So what is fission then? It is a type of asexual reproduction where what happened, the single parental organism, it divide into two. The fission is nothing but it divide into two or more daughter organism. So it is a very simple as well as efficient way of organisms to reproduce, especially when the condition is favorable. So it is of different types. The first one is binary fission. So binary fission, let us discuss about this binary fission now. So have a look at this picture, we'll understand better. So here what happened, the binary, so it will divide into two. That is why it is called as binary fission. The parental cell divide into two equal sized daughter cell. You can see these are the daughter cells. So the parental cell divided into two equal sized daughter cells. So common in usually this type of reproduction, it takes place in single celled organisms like amoeba, bacteria and paramecia. Here I have taken an example of amoeba. So you can see amoeba, it has a cytoplasm inside, the nucleus is at the center. You know that amoeba, it has a irregular shape. Okay, so once the condition is favorable, is it will divide, nucleus undergo division, it split into two, so later it will produce a new daughter cell. So genetic material DNA is replicated and distributed to each daughter cell. So DNA, it is present in the nucleus, it is separated and it will grow into a new species. So this is what we called as binary fission. So now let us move on to the next slide. So we discussed about binary fission. Now let us discuss about multiple fission. So what is multiple fission then? So it is a type of asexual reproduction. Here what happened? This is single parental cell. So it will divide into the single parental cell divides into multiple daughter cell simultaneously. Continuously it will divide and it will produce a many daughter cell. So this process particularly common in the life cycle of a species called Plasmodium. It is a parasite. So it is a causative agent of a disease called malaria. I think you are aware of this disease, right? Malaria. So here what are the steps will be taken place here? So first is nucleus is present here. We have a cytoplasm inside. So and these cells, this is the outermost layer of the cell. The first thing is the nucleus undergo division. Nucleus of the parental cell undergo multiple rounds of mitosis. So here you can see many daughter cells produced by the multiple fission. So resulting in the formation of many nuclei. You can see these are the nuclei. So the cytoplasmic division, cytoplasm of the parental cell divides, pertaining the multiple nuclei into individual daughter cell. Okay, so each daughter cell have a individual nucleus. So later what happen? Each daughter cell containing a single nucleus. So it is enclosed within a membrane, so forming a new individual. So it's what we call as plasmodium cells. So this is what we called as multiple fission, which take place in organism like Plasmodium vivax. Okay, so now let us move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss about another type of reproduction, that is what we called as budding. Okay, what is budding then? So it is a type of asexual reproduction. So here what happened? The new organism developed from a small outgrowth or a bud on the parental organism. So I hope you got it. So the new organism developed from a bud of a parental organism on the parental organism. This is what we called as budding. So this bud initially very small. So you can see here. So the buds are very small and both the pictures. This is hydra and this is yeast. Okay, this is the yeast cell. These are yeast cell. So you can see a real picture of both the species. So here what happened? Initially gradually it will grow. Okay, first initially it is very small, you can see in both the pictures, and gradually it will grow, mature, and it detaches from the parental body to make a to become an independent organism. So you can detach from the parental body, it grow as a new species. Here also you can see detached from the parental body and it grow as a new species. The process of budding, how does it take place here? The first is bud formation. A small outgrowth appear on the parental organism. Later what happen? Cell division within the bud, divide rapidly leading to its growth. Later development. So this bud develop into a miniature version of parental organism. It look exactly like a parent, you can see. Okay, so it completes with all necessary organs and structures which is needed for its developmental and as well as growth, and later it gets separated from the parental body. Once the bud is fully mature, it detached from the parental organism. So detached bud become independent organism. It capable of growth, reproduce and survive on its own. So this is regarding budding. So you can see even in this is very exactly which is take place in hydra. So it's a freshwater cnidaria and it reproduces sexually by budding. A small bud form in its body, grow and eventually detach to become a new hydra. Even in yeast also the same process will continue. It is a yeast is a type of fungus. Yeast reproduce asexually by budding. A small bud form on the parental cell, grow and eventually it separate and form a new species. Okay, so even some sponges reproduce asexually by budding. These are the some examples for budding. So now let us move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss about another important process of asexual reproduction, that is regeneration. So regeneration is nothing but the power of renewal. Okay, so here what happened, by which organism, it is a process by which organism can regrow lost or damaged body parts. Okay, whichever the part is get damaged or it is lost, it will regrow. So it is a fascinating biological process. So it varies widely across different species. So this is what we call as regeneration. So usually we can give example as human. So human does not have same regenerative ability as some animals. So for example, our liver can regenerate damaged tissue. That is also one example I can give you. Our complex structure like limbs cannot be regenerated. So there are few parts it get regenerated, right? So that is the important process. Even a better example I can give you, lizard. So how, if suppose if we can see the tail of a lizard, even though it is cut, after few days it will regrow. So that is also better example so of regeneration. But in species like planaria, so you can see how regeneration occurs. You can see, so the generated body part is fully functional and indistinguishable from the original. So here what happened, so the parental body, it will divide. Okay, it will divide. So whichever the part which is get separated, it will regrow as a new species. So that is a better example I can give you, that is planaria is a better example where the regeneration process which occur in a cleared manner. So like it's a real picture of planaria, so where the regeneration occurs, and even in starfish also you can see the process called regeneration. I hope you got it, children. Let us move on to the next slide. Now let us discuss about a very important process called spore formation. It is also another type of asexual reproduction. So okay, so it is a common method of asexual reproduction. So here what happened, it is mainly occurs in fungi, bacteria, plants and some protista. Okay, so how this spores formation occur then? So usually what happen, the spores are typically produced within a specialized structure called sporangium. You can see these spores are produced inside the structure called sporangium. Inside the sporangium, the parental cell undergo the process of cell division. Okay, it produces numerous haploid spores. Spores are produced here. So these spores are then released into the environment once the condition is favorable. The outermost layer is burst open, and these spores are then released into the environment and can germinate into under favorable condition. So those which will produced, these are which act as a new individual species. It will grow as a new individual organism. So this is regarding spore formation. Better example I can say you, bread molds. Have you seen bread, rotten bread? If we check the bread, no, you can see the black growth of a certain species on that, right? So these, suppose if we see this under a microscope, you can see exact picture of this. So this is what we called as spore formation. So better example for this is rhizopus. In this species you can see this type of changes. Till now I explained you about the types of asexual reproduction. So in our next class I'm going to discuss about vegetative propagation. So I hope you got it whatever I explained till today. So if you want any other clarification, please comment me in a comment box. So then I will try to discuss about that in my next class. So and then one more thing I wanted to say you, please do watch my videos, please do subscribe and share and like, so it might be useful to many students who are in need to understand about the concept. So thank you for watching my videos till now. Thank you so much.